We're looking forward, obviously, to the season getting underway. The extra week in camp, in some ways, was certainly beneficial for us. Obviously, that last week can drag out. At the end of this last week, they were ready to be done with fall camp. I don't think there's any question about that. I think it was a productive fall camp. I liked a lot of what we got done. I think we have an opportunity to have very good quarterback play. Quentin, I thought, had a good fall camp. Nathan also had a good fall camp, and I think both of them are capable of playing football for us and winning football games for us. So, that position right now seems to be in pretty good shape. The thing that we can do to help it would be to run the football and put a little less pressure on the quarterback to make big plays, to put points on the board. Allow him to be part of the offense, not the offense. And so, that's kind of our goal. I like where we're at with our offensive line. I think we have a chance to be very good up front. We're going to have to stay healthy. We're developing depth. But it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of going into the season before that depth truly gets developed. There may be a freshman or two that will be part of that in the offensive line. Tight ends, it's a good group. They, Troy starting for us now, being healthy, and we anticipate him having a great year. And so we think the tight end position is very, very solid for us. Wide receiver, I think we got more really good young receivers than we've had in the program for maybe since I've been here, at least for a long time, which can be good. We had a disappointment in Elijah Ball, had an injury in camp that's going to take him out of the season. So that was difficult. We've had some other injuries along the way in fall camp where we've had a few guys that are going to miss the season because of the injuries. Some of them, a few starters, some backup guys. So on that end of camp, it was a little bit of a tough ordeal. But we got a lot of good football players, and we think that we'll be able to field a really very good football team. Just how good remains to be seen. I'm kind of going on and on here, so this is more than that opening statement. I might be able to just walk out when I'm done. Not take any questions. Yeah. But anyway, really like our running backs. AJ's back, went through fall camp without any problems, so he will start. We expect him to have an excellent year. Dorian Brown, who's more than a proven player for us, he's a warrior for us, will get a lot of playing time, and him and AJ will split the majority of the playing time. As far as the defense is concerned, you don't lose three guys to the pros and not have some effect on you. So we'll see how much of an effect that has as we get into things. Our linebackers, despite losing Blair Brown, I think is a really very, very good group. And obviously Quentin and Chad, two guys coming back that have proven to be great football players for us, not only on defense but special teams, and their attitude and their demeanor and their drive is about as good as it gets in this game. Really proud of what those guys are all about. So I like our linebacking core. We're developing some depth there. Our defensive line, will we be a defensive line where we can substitute like we did last year? And that was a big factor for us, where you're too deep at ends, you're too deep at nose and tackle, and you can spell those guys frequently. I don't know. That remains to be seen. The secondary, our secondary, certainly with three of the four starters basically coming back. Kylan at safety, has been hurt on and off, but he's at full speed right now. Brett at corner and Javon at safety are proven players for us. The other corner, there's a lot of guys battling for that position. Some of them very, very young guys. Jalen Fox right now probably has a little edge going into this last week on that. We've got all of our kickers coming, both of our kickers coming back, and our snapper, long snapper coming back. So that's huge. I think we've got a lot of talent in terms of covering punts, kickoffs, kickoff return, punt returns. I think we have ability in those areas. Some of those areas we just got to do better than what we did last year, but I think the ability's there. So we're excited about the season. It'll be a tough schedule. The MAC is getting tougher year after year, and so obviously that'll be a true challenge. Playing Hampton, opening up with those guys, they're better than what most people understand. And we play a Big 12 team, we play a Big 10 team, and then travel to UMass. So I think the non-conference schedule is difficult. UMass, lost by a point to Hawaii here, right, the other evening. So challenging schedule, but I like the attitude of our team. I like the leadership of our team. Hopefully we can hold up health-wise.
You got some question marks, and we just got a 2 deep. Jalen Fox, Kevin Robbins, Darrell Ward are all listed as starters. What's their availability for this week, given the injuries they've been working through?
Darrell will not play in this ball game. Kevin has a chance to play. Obviously, he's missed a great deal of conditioning, so how much he'll play, we'll see. You mentioned someone else? Jalen?
Fox.
Yeah. He should be healthy completely healthy by game time and ready to go. So.
And then also, Elijah Ball, it's going to be a big loss to your wide receiving core, but I guess you guys have the depth to be able to plug in people. Who do you see stepping up and filling that other starting role since he was going to start?
Well, Cope should be an excellent receiver for us this year. He's missed some playing time throughout his career, and I don't believe that his true talent shows. He's probably the fastest guy on the team, and then Poppy, and so we can put those two guys on the field that can really, really run, challenge you deep when we want to, and so that's always a good start to have some speed there. Meyer really has come on strong. I think will be a player that will show for us very strongly as we get into the season. He is being held out of this game for disciplinary reasons, but his talent is there, and he's playing with a lot of energy, practicing with a lot of energy right now, so I think he'll end up having a chance to be a very, very good wide receiver for us.
And also just to follow up, Cam Odom, he's had some no contact past couple practices. How's his status?
He has a chance to play. We'll see. He's getting better, but he's been out for a while. But he's starting to practice now. He's been practicing in a red jersey for a while, so we'll just see at the end of the week where he's at. We're hoping that he's able to go.
The quarterback position, do you have a set number of snaps or series you want to get Rourke and Maxwell? Is there a number in your mind?
No number. Quentin will be the starter. We want to get Nathan some snaps. We'll just play it from there.
Coach AJ Willette's first game back at Peden Stadium since the injury last fall. He's obviously excited to play. Can you discuss about how excited you are to see him take the field again against another team?
Yeah. He was developing into a special back, and he was doing that very early in his career. That was a big loss to us, much more of a loss than maybe what a lot of people would know. And he's come back off an injury that in the past very few players have ever been able to come off of. In fact, there was no surgery that seemed to be the answer to that injury. But they have gotten better in terms of what they're able to do with that kind of injury now as far as surgery goes, and he seems to have come off of it. And I was worried about going into fall camp, and because he was running pretty well this summer, cutting pretty well this summer, but he was not getting into collisions this summer. And it's one thing to run and run when someone else is running into you, and so that is held up, and so we think that he's fine and really ready to go. He's excited about playing. He's a very instinctive guy. He's a complete back. He'll block for you. He'll catch passes for you, but he's so instinctive in his running ability and finds the right creases to hit, and his timing and acceleration and coming out of those are really pretty special, and so he'll add a good deal to our football team.
Is there any kind of pitch count, so to speak, rep count? Or Dorian the same way, I guess.
Yeah. No, we're going to play them both, and we're going to play them both a lot. So, but we're not going to, say that after so many snaps they're coming out of the ball game. They've been, both of them. Dorian had shoulder surgery. They've both been cleared to play full. So we'll just play it by ear, make sure they're both getting snaps and. Getting to show what they can do, and hopefully they'll be able to do a lot.
With Elijah, was it something in camp that caused the injury?
Mm-hmm.
Just like during a drill? Or?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, it was just blocking on a DB, and the DB, threw him off the block, and his foot got caught.
Do you like opening with an FCS opponent, or would you rather open with a D1 foe or a conference opponent? How do you feel about opening with an FCS?
I generally like conference games to be, later in the season. Obviously, don't like opening up with a conference game, which we don't. But we do have Eastern Michigan, a game early before UMass, and so we're getting into conference play fairly early. And it's difficult to make your scheduling. Bob Generelli does a great job, and it's really difficult to have all those pieces of the puzzle fit together and get the kind of scheduling that he wants to have for every school. Certainly, the scheduling every school gets is not what they want necessarily, but you live with it and do the best you can. You hope that your bye week is positioned so that it's not too early in the year and it's not second from last game.
Coach Dave Johnston steps in the co-offense coordinator role. This will be his first game. Is there any thoughts going on with that? Is that so coaches can focus more on the quarterbacks or anything like that? Dave
is excellent at the running game, and it just made sense since he's working with the offensive line to put him in charge of the running game. So he designs how many runs we have in practice, what runs we're running in practice. So he has a lot to say in terms of what we're doing offensively. I think he's very, very good at all that. His and my philosophy, I think, are very much the same. We don't want to have a complex offense. We certainly don't want to have a complex running game. And what we do, we want to be able to do really, really well. It's the formula that Western Michigan used last year. So and it's a formula we've used in the past at times, and we're just going to make sure we're getting back to it.
Last year you opened against Texas State at home too, and that was a pretty crazy game, triple overtimes. And I remember you saying that a lot of people don't take Texas State seriously, but I guess how do you prepare your players to kind of have that same mindset where you don't underestimate Hampton?
Well, I'm not saying we underestimated Texas State. There were several things that went into that game. But, we respect every team that we play. We understand that there's a lot of good football players around the country, and they're not all in Division I. They're spread around in all the divisions, and there's enough good football players on every football team to beat you if you don't play your best game. If you're favored, then you better play well, and you better get the thing won. And so, where we're at with in terms of those guys, I don't know. Been reading up on those guys, and a lot of articles come out on them, and obviously, they expect to be a really good defensive football team this year. They've had a couple transfers come in. They've had a linebacker that came in from Oklahoma. They had a running back from Virginia Tech, and they had a couple other guys come in. So as transfers, and so all it takes is a few guys to put an exclamation point behind the kind of team that you are. And I've got a lot of respect for their coach. He's a proven winner. Winston-Salem, I don't know what his record was, 46-9 or something like that. I mean, it was, ridiculous in terms of the number of wins and what he was able to get accomplished there. So definitely, like I mentioned, a proven winner. And they'll be ready to go. We just got to make sure we're ready to go. If we're 5-point underdogs, we got to play better than that. If we're 5-point favorites, we got to make sure we play as 5-point favorites. And so that's basically what it comes down to, not letting the team you're playing dictate how you play, but you need to step on the field and play the way you're capable of playing game after game after game. That's how you get places.
Kind of going off of that, with where the MAC is, do you anticipate this maybe being a team that could be in contention for the Group of 5 spot afterwards?
I'm not one for predictions. As we get about 2/3 of the way in the season, I can give you a little better answer on that. The MAC is going to be a crowded conference in terms of good football teams, and it's going to be a break here or there. It's going to be who takes care of the ball the best, who establishes the best field position, who can keep their offense on the field and keep their defense off the field. All those things come into play. How we'll be in all those things, I don't know. I've always stated that there's 3 units to the game. If you get all 3 units playing well, you're probably going to be a championship team. If you get 2 of the 3 playing well, you're really going to be good. If you get 1 of the 3 playing well, it's not going to be so good. If you don't have any of it playing well, you're in trouble. So where we're going to be, I don't know. We'll find out.